So we are going to understand into details masking in Photoshop, what it means to mask and all that it is about masking. All right, so think of a mask as in like face masks. So say if someone is wearing a face mask that covers the entire face, you are not going to see the face, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, and all of that of the person because he or she is wearing a face mask that covers the entire face. But if the person is not wearing a mask, you are going to see the face of the person. So in Photoshop, we also have what we call masking, and it's a very simple tool. We actually apply it to layers, and so we call it actually layer masking. So I'm going to use this picture to demonstrate masking to you. This is just say a preacher, and this is the background layer, the normal solid layer, and we're going to use the preacher in particular to demonstrate it. All right, to turn on the masking on a layer is very simple. You just make sure the layer has been selected, and then you move down there, and as you can see, this is the masking icon. You just turn it on, and then boom, you've actually applied the mask to this particular layer, and that is that white rectangular thing that has been applied. So in masking, the mask you apply, if it is white in color, it means that nothing will happen. You are going to still see the image. It's just like, let's say you use a glass to block your face, a clear glass. We can still see through. It's the same thing as masking in Photoshop. If you put a white mask on whatever you are putting on, in this case, the image. If you put a white mask on it, you're still going to see the image. But if you put a black mask, you are not going to see the image. It's going to cover off. So there are two colors mainly we deal with. That is white and black. But if you put something like a brown or gray, you are going to see it, partially, or it's transparent. Okay, so currently this mask we've applied is actually white in color. If you want to view the actual mask, you have to press Alt and then you click on the mask. So you see, this is the actual mask. The picture has not vanished. This is the mask that has now zoomed and then is viewing, is being reviewed. And we've seen that the color is what? The color is white. If you want to, go back to how it was, press Alt again and click. And then you go back to the normal thing, how it was earlier. So on this layer, the image layer, we've now applied the mask to. If you look at it critically, you've seen that the mask thumbnail over there has been highlighted. That's why you can see those borders around the white sheet is being highlighted. So right now I've actually selected the mask, not the image. If I want to select the image, I'll come here and then click. Have you seen the image has been selected? The mask has been selected. The image has been selected. All right. So now notice that I said the color is white. That is why you can see the image. So right now we can simply, turn this one to black. And if we turn it to black, you don't see the image any longer. So let me go to properties, and the mask is selected. Let me just go and invert it. If you invert white, you get black. So once you invert it, you see it's turned to black. Great. So now it's turned to black and our image has been hidden. Why? Because we've got a black mark on the image, and so we can no longer see it. So simply, if we want to see the image, we just have to, turn it back to white. Or there is another way. You can just pick, let's say, a brush tool. So this is our brush tool, and then we can increase the size a little, and always make sure that your hardness is not really much. Make it really soft. Let's see. And then remember that the mask has been selected. That is why it's been highlighted. So now we can paint with our brush tool. Look at what will happen. Great. Now check here. Have you seen that the paint I did, the white paint, The brush, it has a white color. The color of the brush is white. So the white paint is appearing on the marks. And as it is appearing on the marks, that portion is also revealing, that part of the image. Why? Because white reveals, black hides. I hope this is, clearer enough. Okay, so let's learn the next thing about masking. In masking, this is the mask, this is the actual layer, the image. There's such a thing as linking and then unlinking. And then to link it, right now, it has been linked. The image has been linked to the mask. So that chain icon means that it has been linked. The image has been linked to the mask. If I want to unlink it, I'll just click on the chain icon and then I remove the link. If I want to link it back, I'll click there and then I'll get it linked again. Now, what difference does it make? It makes a difference. If I link it as I've done, and maybe I go to the move tool, and then I come to, let's say, select the image and then move it around. Can you see the effect? Great. The image together with the mask is moving. But if I unlink it, and maybe the move tool is still selected, and I move the image, let me select the image. Oh, you see, the mask has been selected rather. The highlight is on the mask. So have you seen I'm moving the mask? It has not been linked. Or I can select the image and then move the image rather. Yes, so that is linking and then unlinking it. When it is linked, movement you make would apply to both the mask and then the image. If it is unlinked, you can, move them separately. So that is it about linking. So the next thing to learn about, let's say after you've applied your mask and you don't need it again, how do you, get it off? It's simple. You can just right click on the mask. Make sure it's on the mask. If you come to the empty space, you won't get the options. Make sure you come to the mask, right click, and then you go to delete mask. And then gone. So right now I'm undoing it to go back. And then you have it. Alright, so let's get it deleted and then let's apply an entirely new mask and learn something else. So listen, a white mask has been applied. So now you remember that black hides and then white reveals. So if that is the case, then we can create an effect on this image using the gradient tool. Why? Because the gradient tool gives you a portion which is white and then a portion which is what? Black. So right now, with my mask selected, I can come and, brush through with the gradient tool. Let's look at what happens. Can you see? So that place has begun to, fade off. Let me undo it and maybe let me brush from this place. Can you see what has happened? So the beneath portion has begun to do what? To fade off. And it is actually really fading off. If we remove the background, if we hide the background, can you see the picture has faded off? So sometimes in designing flyers, you need a picture or an element to be transparent partially. And this is how you actually get to achieve it. So now you understand the basis, black and white. Black hides and then white reveals. And because the gradient color gives you both effect, you can achieve the effect I've had on the the gradient tool is still selected. So let me come to the move tool. So yes, I've applied it on it. And then there we go, we have it. Alright, so let's go and learn some more things about masking. Let me just undo all of these effects. And then we have our fisherman. So you see, masking can also help you crop, whatever element at all you are working with. So say for an example, I go to the select tool. This is also one of the select tool, rectangular select. And I draw it all as image. And it has been actively selected. That is why it is moving. The dotted lines are moving. That is mean it is being activated. And once you have such an effect on the image, what you can simply do is you make sure the image is selected and you come to mask. And then it takes it off. Yes, that is just it. So let me go back and then demonstrate also with a circle. So I can go back there and then go to, circle, ellipse, select. Can you see that? Great. So that has been actively selected. And once my image, my layer has been selected, I go to mask it and then bam, I've actually cropped it. That's pretty simple and helpful, right? And let me furthermore show you something else. So if you have this selection and you want it to go away, you simply press Ctrl plus D, and then you'll get it off. So say maybe you need a particular portion, you just need a simple portion of the image or whatever you are working with, and you cannot use the rectangular select or circle or whatever to perfectly capture the portion you want. It's simple. You can just go and use maybe pen tool. You go to pen, that is it, and then you select the portion you really want. And then once that place has been selected, then you press Control and you come to the right corner of the thumbnail with your Control press down, then you click. And once you click, you see that that place has been actively selected. And once that place has been selected, you can come to your image layer and then you go to mask it. So bam, it has actually masked it, but you cannot see it because the shape you drew is actually covering. So let me unhide it. Have you seen? You've actually masked it. So you see, this gives you an allowance to crop out anything at all you want. And you see, this one can actually help you also remove the background. So once you select the background, then you use the pen tool or whatever selection tool, you trace out the image and then you make sure it's actively selected, then you go to mask it and bam, you would have your background removed. And let me further note something. After after, for an example, let's say you've masked just a simple portion of the image like this. See, masking it does not mean that you have cleaned out or you've deleted the outer portion that has been hidden. No, you only hid it. And if you delete the mask, you will get your original shape back. So let me go back and have it masked. I just press Ctrl plus Z. So now, if you want your image to actually be like you are seeing it, then you have to further convert it to, what is the name, smart object. And now you have it as an actual image. All the history and whatever has been deleted. Now you have it as an image and you can export it and you'll be good to go. And you see, as if this is not enough, let me just undo it to the point where the max is there. There are other controls for you to still play with. You can come there and then go to once your mask is selected, you go to properties. There are so many other controls, the density, which is opacity, and so many other ones you can play with. So the masking is a really helpful tool, and then you need it in your design pursuit. God bless you.